everybody, Styx here with the Token Minorities, bringing you something a little bit differently. I know normally I bring you the power rankings, but now I'm bringing you a podcast between a Kiwi, a Carnie, and myself. I will have them introduce themselves, starting with the Carnivore. Go ahead.
Which one's that?
That's you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Carnie Hobo here. Normally I'm doing Game of the Weeks, but this time I'm with Styx, which is weird.
And now the person that you are actually all here for, because I know that's exactly why I'm here. Go ahead, Pom.
I'm not a Kiwi. Kiwis are New Zealanders. I'm British.
Okay, my bad.
Hi, I'm PomMan. I used to do the weekly recap, but then I got really busy. Sorry. So we're just going to be talking about the playoffs in this podcast, who we think's got a good chance, what we think the team matchup is going to be like, etc., etc.
Yeah, so you guys can all comment on how much you're mad at Pom for him getting too busy with life to do what he used to do later. But anyway, on to the playoff picture. I'm just really starting from the top. The St. Louis Reshiram and Phoenix Sunkern got a little impatient, so they already did their match with Phoenix winning. But let's just go ahead and talk about the teams and how we thought that their perspectives for making a playoff run were going into this match. So assuming the match hadn't happened yet, what were your thoughts on each team, starting with St. Louis?
St. Louis has been on a really good run of form lately. I was actually thinking that he had a really good chance of winning this game. He's played really well lately with stuff like Scarf as Elf against me, and prepared really well recently. And yeah, it ended up being a close game, but I did genuinely think that Matty had a pretty good chance of getting to the playoffs, or at least to play Jolts, which I thought would have been a really interesting match. But I mean, the Phoenix Sunkern are still a very good team, yeah. So it's like it's a bad situation at all.
Yeah, Carney, what'd you think?
Yes, definitely. St. Louis, I love me some Rams, as I love me some Oakland, some nice and powerful teams. Definitely the sand on St. Louis was very prominent throughout the whole season. It was T-Tar and Scoutland, it was Azelf and Crawdaunt. Literally, when I was going to ask for their MVPs, he had a three-way tie between Azelf, Scoutland, and that nice and powerful. I forgot the last one, actually. Never mind. But there you go. Oh, nice and powerful Crawdaunt. There you go. I remember them on. But the team is really good. It's really well meshed together. Beforehand, when I first looked at the team, I was like, why two water dark types? But he made it work. And Matty Brolick, he is the most muscular man I know, so he just punches through walls, and that's why it seems so hyper offensive. I love it. I just love it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Pom.
Sorry. One thing I really do want to say is that I remember watching his explanation of his draft video, where he said he really wanted to show how good Tyranitar could be, and I think that he's really proved that he is really good at it, and has shown how good Tyranitar can be, not just in standard play, but in the draft league format as well, despite the 4x weakness.
Although, to be fair, Tyranitar is just great in general, the fact that it can run so many different sets. So, I don't think there was necessarily that much to prove, but he definitely used it effectively. In terms of his match versus the Phoenix Sunkern, or his match up team-wise, I actually thought St. Louis would have a really good chance, mostly because both teams were very hyper-offensive. And Sand just normally beats up hyper offense really badly, particularly when you rely on Gengar to be your normal immunity with. And
Gengar is not an immunity to anything, despite having two immunities.
Exactly. Well, and also St. Louis had T-Tar, so that kind of just, hey, Gengar, you're gone. So I thought St. Louis had a really good chance, but it was a great game either way.
We can say that Sand has a fantastic matchup versus Hyper Offense, but at the same time, Mega Medicham has 0 switch-ins on the Reshiram's team and could just go to town on it really easily. And yeah, it could be outsped by things, but Fake Out Bullet Punch could really be very threatening, and I thought that both players did have a definite good chance to win.
Keep in mind, Azelf resists Dual Stab.
Yes, but then
Yeah, but
the
Azelf
fact
is
that
very
Azelf
frail.
Really frail.
Shh, no.
Alexa.
Wall Azelf, new meta.
I'm pretty sure that Fake Out plus Bullet Punch kills the Zelf. So, yeah.
Yeah, like 50. I mean, I'm not gonna do it with the calc, but I'm pretty sure it takes maybe about 50%.
No, I'm
Doesn't like
completely,
outright
completely kidding. But either way, I thought St. Louis had a pretty good matchup. But anyway, let's go to the Phoenix Sunkern. I will start off on this one. I mean, that's just kind of a powerhouse team up and down the lineup. I mean, there's nothing that...
Sunkern.
Hey. Until you get Endeavored and Leech seeded by level 1 Sunkern, then...
I'm still pissed off that Sunkern has done as well as it has this season.
Wait, how has it done? I haven't been really paying attention to Sunkern stats.
Not Sunkern itself, but a team.
Oh, the team in general. I gotcha.
The fact that he wasted a slot and has still managed to get into the semi-finals is annoying to me, because frankly, I don't like seeing slots wasted like that.
Okay, as a monograss type player, I know what Sunkern can do. Obviously, Cheese Boys, I've touched him somehow, and he's like, yes, Sunkern, yes, I understand.
Yeah,
Sunkern is the coach. He's the assistant coach of this team. Let's get it straight. He's the Phoenix Sun Kern.
Be careful when you say touched him, because that could have some pretty negative connotations.
Oh, okay.
No, he was specifically for the negative connotations.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, that explains the draft then.
Oh.
But anyway,
literally.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So should we move on? Oh, are we moving on now? I wasn't certain.
Well, I mean, we can. I kind of want to talk about the matchup between Phoenix and Toronto.
Okay, yeah. Jolt has played really well this entire season, in my opinion. And I know that you want to badmouth Jolt, but he really has.
Well, that is precisely why I'm bad-mouthing him, because he's given me nothing to really bad-mouth up to this point, so I have to make up some stuff.
Frankly, I think Jolt has an advantage going into this game. Like, yeah, Mega Medicham just gets 10 kills, but Medicham gets killed by pretty much everything aside from, like, Breloom as well. So I do feel like Jolt has the matchup advantage in this situation. I don't know if you agree with me, but I generally look at his team and see the bulk necessary to weather out the storm. The Sunkern is going to be useless as always, and he's got threats of his own that match up very well, like Sneasel against the Gengar, and the Ice Shard priority for the Hawlucha, and I just really do think that he's got an advantage going into this if he manages to keep up the momentum. If he loses momentum, however, then I really do feel like he's going to lose. This match will all be about momentum, in my opinion.
Okay, Carnie?
I mean, personally, the match is more about vengeance and despair. I mean, looking back at their previous matches in previous times, Cheeses mostly came on out top, but last time, Jolt just bing-bop mollywopped him, give a dog a bone, and got that nice 6-0 on him. So Cheese is looking for vengeance, and obviously that Sunkern, the coach, the assistant coach, you know, he's ready to tell his mons what to do. But definitely the matchup is on Jolt's side. Don't get me wrong. Jolt has such a beautiful core that it's very hard to break, even though Mega Medicham is basically the wall breaker, the heart breaker, the dream maker sometimes. It doesn't do well against Clefable and things, you know, that Clefable can do, especially since Unaware Clefable is one of Jolt's favorite Clefables in the whole entire world.
Speaking of Clefable, do we know the draft order for next season so that someone else can grab it?
I don't think so, but I really hope Jolt doesn't get Clefable just because of how much he loves that thing.
We're not letting Jolt get Clefable. That's just a fact. I know at least 4 people that have said that we're taking Clefable before Jolt gets it.
Yeah, talking to Jolt, I know that he has some tricks up his sleeve, because, I mean, hey, we run TTM together, we help make teams together and everything. So, I mean, I know he has some tricks that he has prepared for Cheese, but I also know that Cheese has some stuff in the back that he has ready for Toronto. However, looking at their match that Carnie brought up where Toronto won 6-0, do you think that Cheese took that match seriously because he brought Sunkern?
He wasn't taking it as seriously as he will be taking this one.
Okay, do you think... Do you think that was kind of a ploy
mean-
to like keep some of his potential playoff strategies hidden, or was it just kind of a Cheese not caring at all type of thing?
A bit of both, in my opinion. I don't think that the playoff brackets were decided at that point, were they?
Well, they weren't. They weren't set in stone. That was why I was confused, because Cheese had a
Yeah.
chance to grab the #1 spot in the conference. But
Yeah.
he brought
Which-
Sunkern.
Well,
I mean, the Sunkern ploy was basically just, be like, hey, I can still bring this. I mean, Sunkern versus Wobbuffet. Think about that matchup.
Okay.
Sunkern versus something.
okay.
Yeah,
A little
I mean-
serious in my answer though. I don't really think that was so much a ploy to keep playoff stuff hidden as it was. He didn't. I don't think that playing Jolts as seriously then was as beneficial for him as taking that match a little less seriously. Because, I would say that between the two of them, it's about a 50-50 as to whether or not they can, as to which one is going to be coming out victorious. And I'm sorry for all the stuttering, I'm terrible with it. But,
Oh, it's fine. Have you ever heard me narrate anything ever?
no. Yes, I have. I've watched some of your videos.
God.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because now he's got all the things that he might have prepared for that match up his sleeve, whereas he knows what Jolt had prepared specifically for him. He can concentrate more on beating Cosmic Power Bloody Clefable.
Yeah,
No.
Pom, as you were saying about
It's-
Cheese not really showing anything to Jolt, at the same time, Jolt didn't show, I think, 3 or 4 of his sets, which he had really catered to take on Phoenix, and he even had a couple strategies that he actively chose to not bring in the week 10 matchup or week 11, whichever one it was, against Cheese, just so that he could have it up his sleeve for the playoffs. Yes, thank you, Carnie. It was 10.
At the same time, though, was it 10?
Yeah.
It was 10.
Yeah, it was fun.
At the same time, though, he now knows which Mons he was bringing, and while of course there's going to be stuff that he didn't bring that he was preparing for, he's now known that he's thought about bringing Wobbuffet and Sneasel, which are two things he's not brought as often as he's brought the likes of Clefable and Lucario.
Well, I mean, if we think about their previous matchup beforehand, he also did bring Sneasel. He did bring Sneasel. I think he got a
Great.
kill
I'm
on.
fine with him bringing Sneasel, but he's just...
Yeah, I
he's
think
not-
he also brought those same 2 Mons. I think he brought those same 2 Mons last
To be
matchup.
fair,
You know,
I mean,
I'm
look
just saying
at
that.
Cheese's team. I mean, like, it would be almost stupid not to bring Sneasel, given how good of a match it has. So, I mean, like, you can just tell based on the fact that these are both very good players, generically what they're going to bring. And I know there
But my
was,
point is-
I know there was at least one Mon, like, actual whole Pokemon that Jolt wanted to
Set
use. that he didn't
revealing!
bring.
Set revealing!
Huh?
Set revealing!
Yeah,
You're
whatever.
revealing-
Jolt was going to bring Roserade. There you go.
Oh no! Oh no! He's bringing the Oakland.
But yeah, I think...
Love me some
Okay.
guys.
I'm going to make a bold statement. I think whoever wins this side of the playoff bracket will win the whole thing. What do you guys think?
I think that's a good chance of happening, in fairness.
No. I'm gonna tell you straight up no, because they still have to go against my boy Dallas. Dallas boy.
Who still needs
the
to win
perfect
2
streak
matches
killer.
before he gets to there as well. Like,
But if you think about it, Dallas boy has done well this whole season. I hope we're transitioning over to Dallas
Yeah,
boy
I
right
mean,
now
like,
because
might as well.
Dallas and his team is so bootylicious. I'm sorry, excuse me for my language, guys, but it's so good. His
you're not
team,
excused.
so okay, or whatever.
There it is.
I mean, he had a rocky start in the beginning, as you know, most great comeback stories are, including the Walking Charizards.
Kind of need to
Yeah.
fall in order to come back.
Yeah, that's the
essence.
problem. Like, if he needed to fall, I mean, the Toronto Star Raptors were just consistent all year in the Phoenix Sunkern to an extent. I mean, they were just good. I mean, they didn't need
Well,
to fall. to
yeah,
come up to
but-
the
To
top.
be fair though, he did play really well because I
Oh, I'm
remember
not
after
denying
like
that at all.
4 or something it was that he'd lost 3 in a row, was it? Or 3 out?
Yeah, he lost 3 in a row, and then he got his first win against Togovar, coach of the Portland
Yeah.
Timbers. There we go.
Mm.
And then after that, he was winning matches. And he lost, a few here and there, but he started getting back in the groove of things, and that's
I'm
what
not
makes
taking
Dallas.
anything away from him. He recovered after a poor start. And I feel like he's got a chance, but I do genuinely think that Toronto and Phoenix have both been really consistent and really good throughout this entire season. Like, we can't just say he's likely to win. I'd say it's more a matter of 70-30. The winner of the Toronto and Phoenix matchup is going to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that it's going to happen. I'm not going as far as Styx did, but I do think that the odds are in their favor.
Keep in mind, I just said bold statement. I didn't say that like I 100% believed it, but I do have to give the San Antonio Swamperts their due because objectively, just looking at the lineup, they have a scary, scary team, and they're.
Does anyone not have a scary team?
Well, I mean, I could make a couple arguments about a few things, but I mean, the fact.
One of them would be mine, so don't.
Huh?
One of those would be mine, so please don't.
Anything Pom uses is just horrible. But I mean, San Antonio they definitely have the ability to knock off anybody. However, I do have to call into question their consistency as to whether or not they can make a run of 3 very difficult games against top other players to where they would be able to take it home. So I think they have the capability of knocking off any team in the playoffs, but I don't necessarily think that they will be able to.
They can do it 3 times in a row.
Exactly. I do not think that. However, I would love to be proven wrong just because, I mean, everybody loves a comeback story, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm brought up off. But whatever, barring that. But even though, Swampers do have, I say a very good team, especially since he was complaining about how good Goth was in the beginning of the match, and I don't know if he traded it off or what happened to Goth.
He traded it off, yeah.
I don't think it's he traded it off? Oh.
Yeah.
Manaphy
Never
City
mind.
had it.
I thought he still had it. Oh, well, never mind then. Oh, shut up.
Well, I mean, I was
Holy.
saying how Goth was such a huge factor in almost any match. I think it was my last Power Rankings video where I was saying that the use of Goth can really just determine a match. If you use it well, then you are more than likely going to win, and if you use it poorly, I mean, it's such a swing mon, like singular. Like one mon can swing the entire match. So I think if San Antonio had it with how well they've been playing, I think they would definitely be more of a threat. However, I think
But at the same time, I think that one of the reasons they might have not been doing as well in the early weeks was that they were somewhat over-relying on Gothitelle. I feel like he was pretty much thinking, I can use Gothitelle for this, and wasn't really considering that the other guy was thinking, he's got a Gothitelle, let's chuck a Shed Shell on there, or let's put Dark Rates, or whatnot. And it worked on occasions. I can remember it trapping a Starmie, although I can't remember who that was for. I don't remember if it was Dallas or if it was the person he traded it to.
I think it was Cam.
Yeah, I can't honestly remember, to be entirely honest.
I haven't watched every match. I'm pretty sure it was Cam.
I can remember it trapping a Starmie at the very least. But I feel like over-focusing on Gothitelle and subsequently getting rid of it and allowing him to focus more on the team in general did mean that he was playing a lot better after that. I feel like it was not just much, let's get Gothitelle in, get rid of this, and then we can use the rest of the team to win. It was much more, let's use the entire team to accomplish the goal.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. And while we can argue about San Antonio all day, Carnie, I know you wanted to say something. I'm going to have to cut you off because we need to move on to the Atlanta Braviaries and Base Lord himself, Trev, without Blade. Nah, I'm giving...
Wow, I was going to make a segue. To
well, you know what? You got sniped,
whatever.
So...
Oh, man.
But anyway,
again.
What are your thoughts on Atlanta? Let's go with Pom first.
I think that they've got a really dangerous team. I really do enjoy the Charizard Venusaur combination, but I'm wondering why he traded the Blade, in all honesty. Like, it's the MVP for kills, and it's just done so well this entire season. And didn't he also trade away Kieran Black? Or was that someone else?
Is that why the Excadrill is there? Because I do not remember that being there all season.
No, he still...
Did he always have Excadrill, or am I just losing it?
I'm pretty sure he traded Kibi.
Yeah,
KB for
traded Kieran Black for Excadrill.
Okay.
And to me, that's more a matter of like you've gotten rid of two of the. Well, he's proven how well he can use the blade this entire season. It's the MVP for kills. It has over half of his kills, if I'm not mistaken. And he also trades away Kieran Black, which, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't that the MVP last season as well?
Might have been. I wasn't around for that, so I wouldn't.
Yes.
I think
yes.
the MVP last season. It was either MVP or it was like second or third or
Well,
something.
and he got rid of Raikou for Heliolisk. I know that he made that trade to Jolt, so he's just been moving stuff around.
Yeah, but I'm not entirely certain that it's all for the better,
Yeah.
in all honesty.
Well,
I mean, like, Excadrill for Kieran Black, okay. I would personally prefer Kieran Black, but Excadrill's okay. What did he trade to Blade for, though?
Hoopa
I don't
Unbound, which...
A Selgor.
No.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hooper Unbound is a good
I was
mon.
about to say, I mean, honestly, as well as Doublade's been doing this whole season, I still think if you have the chance to get Hoopa, I mean, admittedly, in format, it's relatively... It's easier to prepare for than if you were just laddering with it, but I mean, still, Hoopa has a virtually unlimited move pool in terms of being physical or special, so you can always have that one thing that you need to take out your opponent's counter. But then again, like,
yes.
Doublade is still amazing and has proven how good it can be this whole season.
But at the same time, though, well, while admittedly Doublade doesn't have the best matchup versus Dallas and the San Antonio Swampers, look how well it matches up versus the Portland Timbers, in my opinion. And while yes, Hooper Unbound does match up better versus the Swampers, keeping the Doublade around might end up costing him in the long run if he does manage to beat Dallas. Because Doublade is not just an offensive threat, it's also a defensive threat.
Yeah, very, very true.
And,
I don't know, you
take
could,
on the likes of Zor and
you
whatnot.
could use the
much
Salt
better.
Vest Hoopa as a special wall or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
You probably could. I mean, just HP bug.
If there's one thing I really do hate, it's when Pokemon like the likes of Hooper get thrown an Assault Vest on. Like, yeah, it's got good special bulk, its physical bulk is nothing, and U-turn is among the best moves in the format, so it'll be scared out.
Besides all that, it would make a great special defense wall with a Assault Vest.
Yeah, why would you want to, though? The point of Hooper is
No,
just
I
to
know.
demolish everything slower than it. I couldn't think of the word. And giving it an Assault Vest, yeah, makes it take hits from Latias, which it already took,
Exactly.
but then you can't kill Latias. Well, you probably can, it's Latias, but still.
I think how well Atlanta does in the playoffs will kind of determine on how effective Trev's creative sets turn out to be. 'Cause, I mean, he's pretty undeniably the best at coming up with unconventional sets, let's put it that way. I won't say they're always effective, but he does always come up with something unconventional to use. And
one thing I'll definitely give in his favor, though, is that he's got a good matchup now that he's got Venusaur as well as Charizard
Yeah.
Y.
well, and
Like,
Blaziken,
against-
because I mean he can go Hyper Offense Sun.
Well, against both
Yeah.
Portland and San Antonio, though, he's got a really good matchup with Venusaur. You can get 5 Sun turns with it.
Yeah, I could.
It was like
Yeah, but
Charizard.
also with Trev has really not brought in the Zard Y. Zard Y literally is one of his not favorite mons. I'll say not favorite because I can't think of a better word instead of not.
Least favorite.
Disliked?
Least the disliked. You can say that.
Least
But
disliked.
Zard
This-
Y.
His favorite, yay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. There you go. Even better words. But he does not like Zard
I mean,
Y
he
at
did
all.
bring it against
And-
with his match against Washington, and that went well.
Yeah, that went well
No, it
because
didn't.
Washington has a
No,
rain
Washington
team,
6
doesn't
would
it?
him.
Oh, we're talking about the current
Yes, the
one. Oh, I
most
thought we were
recent
talking
one,
about the
no.
one beforehand.
No, I'm talking.
I was talking about the
going
one
into
beforehand
playoffs.
where he got 6-0. Okay, going into the playoffs, yeah. But there was also some personal altercations going on at the same time. So he wasn't, he didn't have his quote-unquote head in the game. Sorry, Disney, don't copyright me. But
Dude, I love High School Musical, and if anybody badmouths it, I will personally hunt them down.
Alright, but yeah, definitely. It's just his team right now doesn't seem like it works together. I mean, barring the Hyper Sun offense that, can be brought, but he still has his Renewal Eclipse, which he had early game, which he used a lot. Infestation Stall, which is very nice, very nice. I'm a big fan of that. And he did trade off some good mons for some mons,
Yeah.
you know. But even though the mons are just you can still make something happen with them, such as Excelgor. Excelgor lately has been so nice. That speed tier is really helping out a lot, especially since Togue loves to bring sub Gonabor. I mean,
well, and I mean,
so,
if Trev has shown one thing, it's that he can catch you off guard, and if he catches you off guard, then he's gonna run away with the match. So that's what I think.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, I was gonna just say that he also brought Helios. Helios was one of his favorite mods back in the last season. So I think he's doing more of a retrospective. He's bringing some mods from his previous season that he knows really well, and then also, you know, some mods for his, you know, current season that he kind of just wants to see if it works. That's the only thing I want to say. He's just mixing up his seasons together and making one good super team, quote unquote.
One thing I want to see personally is the Reuniclus. You brought it up. He used Infestation Store a lot. I would really like to see him go much more offensive with his Reuniclus. Like if he could use offensive Trick Room or something, there is no switching. And I really do think that it's got a lot of untapped potential. And I feel like he's just become a little bit predictable in what his Reuniclus set is going to be. He's brought Infestation Stall like 3-4 times.
At least, I think.
Yeah, so I'd like to see a little bit more variety there. But other than that, he's definitely got his chances, but I feel like the trades he made when, as you did say, he was focusing on other things, might prove to be a little bit costly in the long run.
I completely agree, and with that, let's segue into the Portland Timbers. Who wants to start?
Excellent natural segue.
I know, right?
I guess I'll start. First of all, I really think he's got a really good chance, no matter who goes through in the matchup between San Antonio and Atlanta. He's got so many really good threats, like the Gardevoir. Yeah, we've talked about sub Gardevoir. There's other Gardevoir sets as well that are also brilliant. And the Azumarill, I personally am a really big fan of. We all know how good Garchomp can be. The Scolipede has proven recently how well it can do. I'm really looking forward to seeing that match, but I do think he's got a definite advantage no matter who goes through.
I'd be really intrigued to see him use Volcarona a little more, just because I know how deadly that mon can be. And
It's deadly, but it's also really difficult to use. I mean, if he's bringing Volcarona, he's basically saying, this is my entire team based around it, because he's got to bring Zapdos' Foggy. He's got to bring a way of getting it in safely, so that's probably going to involve Scizor and U-turning and whatnot. And he's got to account for the various threats he can't bring. If it's Heatran, what's he going to do against Air Balloon or Shuckleberry Heatran, etc., etc. Volcarona is a really high-risk, high-reward Pokemon in my opinion.
And I guess Portland has somewhat played it safe. I mean, I do know for a fact... Actually, I don't know for a fact, but I can guess with almost certainty that we're going to see Calm Mind Cresselia at some point this postseason. Because, I mean, he's brought that almost every week.
I thought that was just a given.
Yeah.
Is there a different Cresselia set? It's been so long, I've forgotten.
Yeah, there's store power.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, Carnie, what do you think?
Timbers. Okay, Timbers. Sum this up in 3 words. Very, very bulky. Easy. That's the only thing I have to say.
That's it? Nothing more?
That's it.
Like you're looking
very,
at
very bulky.
Gardevoir and Scolipede and Volcarona and like normal Scizor, and you're saying very bulky? I mean, I get it's bulky, but I'm considering it more like a bulky offense at most. It's not a stool team by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not saying that either, but I'm just saying it's very, very bulky.
Ish. It can be, but it can also be very, very offensive. Because, I mean, what if you run, like, offensive Chomp, offensive Zapdos, Banded Scizor, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it could run a variety of different types of teams, really, based on its matchup. And one thing that I think he can do is some hazard stack pressure, which I hope I'm not spoiling
Yes.
anything, but that could definitely be an option for Portland in the postseason, depending on his matchup.
I definitely agree with that. The potential of just lead Scolipede, how do you deal with it?
Prankster Taunt, I guess.
Even then, like, you can run Mental Herb.
Yeah.
And is there even user? I can't-
Phoenix Sunkern, I think, is the only one in the playoffs currently. With Thunderous Eye. We still have to talk about everybody's least favorite team, the Toronto Star Raptors.
Well,
go ahead, because I'm just gonna trash them. I'm just gonna completely like rip them apart. So we might as well say what you need to, and then I'll go ahead and hop in.
Okay, so for anyone listening in, as soon as I finish talking, that's the end of the cast, because the rest of it is just random insults. Toronto have been easily the most consistent team this season. I think they're the number one seed. They've played really, really well. They brought the bloody Clefable set that I hate every time I've watched them play live, and won with it more times than not, which is really infuriating.
See, even you can't say completely good things about Toronto.
I'm not saying that I like his team. I'm saying they play really well with it. And his team is a good team. I just don't have to like Cosmic Power, Unaware Clefable setting up and winning every week. But yeah, Clefable, he's shown over the last 2 seasons, he's really, really good at using that. The rest of his team, like aside from like Sneasel and Wobbuffet, it looks like the top 10 threat list in OU, pretty much. Yeah. And Sneasel is basically mini Weavile, and it's nothing that you can sleep on. And Wobbuffet is recently been banned in standard play for his ability being just too good.
And what are your thoughts on Mega Latios?
Mega Latios, I'm actually in a minority here. I think that the Mega Latis are fine and they should be allowed in the league, and I don't think they're too bulky or anything like that. I do think that they're fine. He's used it relatively well this season, but I wasn't expecting brilliance from it, whereas everyone else seems to be expecting it to be getting 6-0s every other week or whatnot.
Mega Latios is horrible. I don't understand. And also my internet's back, guys.
Very different. See?
Yeah, I mean, Mega Latios is horrible. I've used it.
Bad or horribly good?
I mean, it's horrible in both ways. Like, it can be horribly bad, like, because sometimes you really need that, you know, that specs. Sometimes you really wish you could run Life Orb Latios. And then other times where, you know, you Mega Evolve and it's really good because you brought this beautiful set and it actually puts in work. So it's a toss-up. I mean, when it comes to Mega Latios and the Mega Latis, in general, it's very much a toss-up on if it's good or it's bad because of it basically not having an item. It's literally just grabbing a Latios with a little bit more bulk and a little bit more power with no item and seeing if you can do well with it.
But in addition to that, though, I'd argue that Mega Latis are fine because, yeah, there's slight improvements on the regular form Latis, but then they're taking away your Mega. And something I've said a lot personally is that I value the Mega slots probably more than I really should. I tend to try and build my teams largely around my Mega, and I tend to focus largely on what's the best Mega for my team. Mega tends to be like the third Pokemon I put on my teams, normally after the Pokemon I want to build around and Primal Groudon, because I use Ubers a lot. So yeah, Mega tends to be third there. If I'm building in Standard Play or in Draft League, it tends to either be the first or second mon on my team. Megas are just really, really, really good and necessary, and I don't generally feel like sacrificing my Mega slot is worth a slightly better Latias or Latios. I'd rather just get regular Latios or Latias and then grab like Mega Titar or Mega Altaria.
I would like to say that.
Or Mega Audino, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Mega Audino is the exception to the rule.
I would like to say that I think the reason Mega Latios hasn't thrived as much as it possibly could is because of the team that it's on. I mean, Toronto is obviously bulky offense, and I feel like Mega Latios needs to be on a team that would focus on it more, and then you could see it shine a lot more than it has. So I think part of the
But at the same time, you could say that for any Pokemon. Like, we've seen this season Doublade do fantastically on a team basically built around it. But I don't think that's an argument for them being broken and they shouldn't be allowed in the format or anything.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, Mega Latios definitely could be a lot better if Jolt wasn't relying so much on it to be more than often than not his defogger or something like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Megas that are banned, if I get the first pick in the draft, we're allowing Mega Slowbro, please. And if I'm not, then no need.
No need.
Oh my gosh, I hate Mega Slowbro. That thing is
Mega Slowbro is my favorite thing to use in OU at the minute. There's just almost nothing that can stop it once it gets going.
People like Palm are exactly why I have given up Showdown since November. But I think, okay, so, alright, my turn. Tag me in. Let me talk about Toronto.
In other words, if you want the serious cast, here's where to end it, because it's just going to be slacking them off.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's get pumped up. All right, let's go, Styx.
So,
let's go.
I hate everything about Toronto's team except for Breloom and Lucario because, admittedly, those are two of my favorite mons.
Amen. Breloom. Breloom's the best mon and the TI team. Let's get it straight. Breloom, grass types for life. Okay, I'm done.
I liked his team at first when I saw Tentacool and was like, oh, he could do something with Toxic Spikes, but then I realized Jolt hates Toxic Spikes and never uses them because he's like, it's not a safe play. It's like, okay. Because he doesn't like the fact that they are so high risk, high reward, so he just goes, no, I'm just going to keep spin. It's like, well, screw you too. But
he can go Spike Spin though, can't he?
Yeah, but he doesn't like using them. He does not use Toxic Spikes. In fact, he and I have had this very conversation where I have tried to tell him how good Toxic Spikes are, and he's like, yeah, but they're not, like, he actually said they're not safe enough, and they're not guaranteed enough. I don't...
That's like saying...
Like, is playing a guy
go for nothing.
using mono-poison? Huh? Like, why are they not safe?
Because if your opponent has a poison type, then they are essentially useless for the entire match. And also, it takes a turn to get them
on the poison type, there's things you can do with Toxic Spikes, even though they've got poison types. Set them so that you force in their poison type, amongst other things.
But he doesn't like the risk-reward type of matchup that it gives him.
Wrong.
Yeah, I know he's wrong, which is why I'm giving him so much grief here. I mean, admittedly, the team is a lot more offensive than I thought it'd be, despite the first 4 mons. I mean, look at those and tell me any one of them is offensive. You can't.
Jirachi?
No.
Wasn't Jirachi on the first 4 mons?
Yes, but also Jirachi, he runs that stupid Spidef set, I think, 90% of the time.
Yeah, okay. But I'm saying it has a chance to run.
Okay, he could potentially, but does he use it for that? No. Okay, I'll be honest.
No.
Toronto has earned their spot as the #1 team. They've played better than anyone. They have prepared better than anyone. However, I just cannot contain my disdain for how much the risk-free playstyle has been effective. And yes, they are currently my favorite to win the whole thing. However, I am praying that the Hacks gods get him once again when he faces Cheese. I believe that would be 2 years in a row that Jolt would be knocked out by Hacks from Cheese Boy, and that would just make me smile and laugh hysterically.
You see, Cheese, yes. I mean, I'm not agreeing with Hacks. I want it to be a fair fight, no knives.
It needs
just
to be
beat
Hacks
style.
because that way Jolt can be so salty about it. Because my favorite part is the salt that he gets after he loses to Hacks. And like, I mean, if he loses normally, Jolt's a very good sport about it. So he'll be like, yeah, you know what? He outplayed me and he deserved to win. But if he loses to Hacks when it mattered, that is my favorite because then he knows he should have won, but he still didn't. So it's like a double dip for me.
If he gets Hacks, I really hope it's on Cosmic Power Clefable. Like, that is the only time I'll wish
Yes.
Yes. Okay, all 3 of us agree that we want Cosmic Power Clefable to get Hacks, or Calm Mind Clefable. He could bring that too.
No, if he brings Calm Mind Clefable, I do not care. It's only Cosmic
fine.
Power.
If it's Cosmic Power Clefable, we want him to get Haxed so that he loses. Agreement?
I don't necessarily want him to lose. I want it to die. I don't want it getting a kill.
Just let it burn. Just let it burn.
But Alrighty, so alright guys, bold predictions. What do you think will happen in the San Antonio versus Atlanta matchup?
I'll let Carnie go first. Actually,
I'm really biased, so you already know. I'm shooting for my boy Dallas to just come through, get a nice, clean 2-0. Let Trev get a little kills here and there, and then he just comes back and just sweeps, or he just Gastrodon stalls or something. I feel like Dallas is ready to take his first ever NPL championship. He's got the team. He's got the plays.
Yeah, you can talk about that later. Pom, what are your thoughts on that match?
Being entirely honest, I do think that Dallas has a good chance. But I think it's going to be a high-scoring match, regardless of which way it goes. I think it's about 60-40 or so in favor of Dallas, but I think it's going to be a 4-0 or a 5-0.
Okay. See, I'm actually going the exact opposite way of you guys. I think if there's one thing that Dallas has shown throughout the season is that if he gets down, he's not very good at bouncing back quickly. It takes him a little time. I think that Atlanta will be able to catch him off guard, which will result in, don't get me wrong, San Antonio will take out plenty of Mons because of the pressure they're able to put on, but I think it'll end up being a 1-0 or 2-0 in Atlanta's favor.
Yeah, see, I'm just thinking it's going to end up being like a Venusaur or Dragonite sweep or something like that.
I can definitely see that. Okay, Phoenix versus Toronto.
I've already said that I think that Jolt has been more consistent in this. I think it's going to be Clefable getting crit flinched by Bishop's Iron Head, followed by a narrow 1-0 victory in Jolt's favor.
Okay. Carnie?
I'm predicting a nice and clean 2-0. Again, I don't see playoff matches going above 3-0. So, they can, but I don't predict that way. In Cheese's favor, I want the Endeavor on the Sunkern to go on Clefable. He's not gonna bring it. But here's just a potential matchup I want to hear. Okay, Endeavor going onto the Clefable. Clefable is just down to that 1 or 6 or 5 HP, whatever its base stat is. I think it's 30, so it would be 5.
It recovers back up and it's fine.
Yeah, well, does it get recovered? No, it doesn't get recovered.
Gets soft.
It just should not.
Like same thing.
It gets soft boil. Yeah, and then you just leech seed, but whatever.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I want that to happen.
So
and then...
what's your prediction for the final?
Okay.
Well, final
Okay,
outcome
so
of this battle.
my final 2 teams.
No.
Oh, definitely a solid 2-0 in Cheese's favor.
Okay.
If Cheese just plays it very well and plays his Manaphy really well, because Manaphy is going to be the key factor, I feel like, in that match.
Okay. See, I think...
Really? I think that, Jolt has got, 4-5 checks to Manaphy. Unaware Clefable, plus Breloom, plus Raikou, plus Mega Latios, plus Wobbuffet.
He's got
Like I said,
checks,
if he plays it...
I think it's going to come down to a very narrow 1-0, and I think that there is going to be one turn. I think there's just going to be one turn that the entire match is decided by. It doesn't necessarily have to be the end of the game, but I think that there will just be a single turn that you'll look back on the match and be like, that's where it ended. In Toronto's favor. I know how much I hate Jolt, and how much I hate saying that he's going to win, and how much I want Phoenix to come out on top, but I have to go with my gut and give Toronto their due, so I do think Toronto will come out on top in this match. Okay.
And we've already covered what we think is going to happen in the final. You and I both think that it's more likely than not that it's going to be Toronto or Phoenix winning it.
I think, but we haven't gotten to the final yet because we haven't gotten the other matchup. Who do you think will win in the Portland versus the winner of the other game?
Depending on the matchup, depending on who makes it up, if it is Trev. Okay, assuming that Dallas makes it through, I strongly believe Dallas might make it, but then this is one of those, I want to say 50-40 side, not 50-40, yeah, 50-40-10. Yeah, 50-40-10, okay? So basically, I believe that 50%, halfway there, Dallas could win. I believe in 40% that, Togue can definitely win. But then there's that 10% of Hack.
I could win. I could get the one card.
but there's that 10% of hacks that just, destroys what I believe in. That 10%, that's what I feel like this is going to be one of those really hacksy games.
Just bullshitting this 10% part because you forgot 60-40 rather than 50-40?
Maybe.
Yes,
but yes, entirely. But I believe that it's going to be a very hacksy game, and it's going to come down to a slim 3-0, either in Toad's favor.
Slim 3-0? Are you sure you put the right adjective there?
Okay, a meaty 3-0. Is that better? Okay, a meaty 3-0 in Dallas's favor, but if it happens to be in Toge's favor, I will gladly make a video on my channel saying that Toge is a god and he is like the best player that I've ever met on my channel.
I will do that. Published, so you're going to be held to your word, right?
Yes, I'll be held to my word, and if Toge makes it and he wins the whole thing, I will put a video me in a dress. Actually, no, not me in a dress. I can't find a dress in that big. Alright. So Toge,
I'm not gonna get rid of you dying. We're gonna edit it just so that it says that you're gonna make a video of you in a dress. Okay?
Alright,
Pom, what's your pick?
I guess.
Well, I didn't actually pick either of the two teams to advance. I do think that Portland has a good chance versus either of them, though.
Yeah. I agree as well. I think Portland will come out, no matter which team, I think Portland will come out with a 2-0, which means that we will have Portland in the finals. And again, what are your guys' picks for the final? Who do you think is going to bring home that fictitious trophy? And really just the bragging rights is the only thing they can really claim.
Either Jolt or Cheese in whoever wins I think the Toronto Phoenix match will probably decide who wins the entire tournament.
So what was your prediction again for that match?
I said that Jolt would narrowly win.
So your pick is Toronto for the final. What do you got, Carnie?
Okay, so
silly.
Yeah. So if it is Cheese, no. This is what gets me. If it is,
oh my gosh, just stand by your guns. Don't give me like 30 different scenarios. Just pick one and stick with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna go with Dallas all the way. Dallas all the way.
There you go.
Please, Dallas, don't.
We finally grew a pair and made
Don't let me down, Dallas. I love
you.
Oh man.
Don't expect.
I'm gonna hate myself.
I'm going with Toronto. I mean, as much as I crap on Jolt all season long, he has.
Well, at the same time though, sorry, I'll let you finish.
I mean, he has proven his capabilities, and there's no denying that. Hopefully he doesn't get hacks, but hopefully he does, just because it would be hilarious for me to see happen 2 years in a row. But anyway, without hacks, Jolt goes all the way. That's my opinion.
I was going to say he's been unlucky in finals before.
Exactly. Actually, he's been unlucky in the conference championships before.
He's been unlucky before. How about we just leave it at that?
No, in this exact stage of the playoffs against this exact opponent. That's what I find funny.
Okay.
Yes. With the almost exact team. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, shut up, Carnie. You're done. But alright, I think we're going to wrap that up right there. Any final words from the peanut gallery?
You mean the comment section?
No,
yeah,
I mean
let me go
Carnie.
look at some comments real quick.
Gallery.
Oh, alright. Yeah, definitely. Either way, all these coaches, they are spectacular, and I'm glad that everyone that did make it to the playoffs made it to the playoffs. I believe that this is one of the most intense playoffs since maybe season 2 or 3. I don't know when it got really intense.
This is going to be one
3.
of the top 4 most intense playoffs.
I will agree with that.
Yes, I'll definitely agree with that, and yeah. I just can't wait to see who wins
Carnie,
and
get off your
loses.
knees.
And
Right, Pom, you're up next.
Okay, well, I'm going to make it a lot quicker. I think they're all really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing some really good matches.
Yeah, ditto. I mean, that's pretty much it. I know that these are going to be some pretty awesome battles by some awesome coaches, and I look forward to next season, where hopefully I won't be an analyst because of how long it took. I will probably follow Pom, but anyway, that is the podcast, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Check out Carnie and Pom on their respective channels. And this is Styx, signing out. Why not? See you guys.